Skin is the largest organ of a human body. It weighs between 7 and 20 kilograms, and it covers nearly 2 square meters. As a multifunctional organ, it connects and simultaneously isolates the human body from the environment. 1 square centimeter of skin contains nearly 6 million cells, 4 meters of nerve fibers, over 100 glands, and a dozen or so of cold and heat receptors. The main function of the skin is to protect against water loss and mechanical, physical and chemical or biological external factors. As an external layer, it enables various substances to be secreted and absorbed. It's a sensory organ involved in body thermoregulation. This organ hosts a number of immunological reactions. The skin is structured in 3 layers: epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous tissue. The epidermis includes many cell types. The keratinocytes divide and migrate towards the surface of the epidermis, and during that journey, they undergo multiple changes until they die, and in effect, flat, protein-filled, anucleate corneocytes are formed. They constitute the outermost dead layer of the epidermis, the stratum corneum. The dead epidermal cells are submerged in a special binder, often compared to mortar binding the bricks, therefore the name intercellular cement. The melanocytes present in the basal layer of the epidermis host the process of melanin production, our skin and hair pigment. This pigment is synthesized in special cell organelles called melanosomes. Once finely oxygenated and pigmented, it's transported by dendritic spicules to the epidermal cells, furnishing the skin with a characteristic coloring. Ultraviolet radiation, skin inflammation, or some hormones actively accelerate the melanin synthesis and its transport to the keratinocytes. Langerhans cells, also present in the basal layer of the epidermis, participate in the immune system processes of the skin. Stimulated by the presence of an antigen, they migrate from the epidermis to the dermis, and then to the nearest lymph node, where they present the antigen to the T lymphocytes. The main morphological elements included in the composition of the dermis are the cells of the connective tissue, fibroblasts, as well as the collagen and elastin fibers they form. These fibrillar proteins equip the skin with appropriate elasticity and suppleness. Each hair has got at least 1 sebaceous gland, usually spreading out in the form of a dozen or so lumps with 1 common follicular duct. Sebum, protecting the skin against the influence of mechanical and chemical factors as well as microbes, is mainly made of lipid derivatives. Sebum secretion is subject to hormonal regulation and varies throughout individual development. A dense network of fine blood vessels in the dermis provides it with oxygen and nutrients. These vessels may expand and contract accordingly to the needs and thus balance the blood flow. This is a completely natural process responsible for skin redness when we feel hot. The majority of skin innervation consists of free nerve endings, which penetrate into the live skin layers and coil round the follicles and glands. Thanks to the presence of the nerve endings sensitive to temperature changes, touch, pressure, and pain stimuli, the skin may function as a sensor, receiving signals from the external world and passing it to the central nervous system. The numerous sweat glands present in the skin bear the main function in thermoregulation of the body. The deepest layer of the skin is the subcutaneous tissue formed from interwoven and dense fibers of connective tissue and fat cells, adipocytes. Due to such construction, this layer is largely responsible for mechanical endurance of the skin. The presence of fat cells grants specific insulation properties, slowing down heat loss and excessive exposure to cold, as well as insulation against too high temperatures in the environment. The adipose layer protects the internal organs, located beneath, against mechanical injuries. The study of the mechanisms of skin physiology, carried out at the Dr Irena Eris Center for Science and Research, constitutes a great contribution to the development of biomedical sciences. The study is the basis for the design of modern and safe beauty products with proven effectiveness, which are used by women and men all over the world. The study of the mechanisms of skin physiology, carried out at the Dr Irena Eris Center for Science and Research, constitutes a great contribution to the development of biomedical sciences.